Please grant me the clarity and the right words to be able to express myself properly. Hey guys, it's Tasha Renee here and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. My channel is all about inspiring others to live authentically through my real life personal experiences and my journey. If you've not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you want to follow my journey. Also hit that bell, that way you're notified every single time I upload a video. My video today, I wanted to talk to you guys about the reason behind why I decided to go to therapy. So I kind of wanted to like backtrack a little bit and talk to you about why I was overwhelmed, why I felt like I needed to see a therapist, and we're gonna go like step by step until we are caught up to where I'm at this moment. Why did I go to therapy? All in all, to sum it up, I felt like I just needed somebody to talk to. Somebody that was unbiased. I just felt like I just needed to get stuff off of my chest, and the people that were surrounding me, I didn't want to put that burden on them. Just somebody more professional that I can talk to versus me passing on my struggles to, like I said, to somebody else. To give you a little idea of where my overwhelm started, I'll give you a little story. So prior to where we're living right now, once I had Sage, it was just Sage and I. And I'm grateful for the help. I don't want to say I didn't have help, because I did. My sister used to come to the house like almost every night, but majority of the time it was just Sage and I by myself. Our lease was up and we were looking for a bigger place, and long story short, we ended up moving into this house. And not only is it just Eddie, I, and Sage, my cousin and my sister now lives with us too. So now I just went from not really having too much people to now I have other people inside the space as well. I wasn't mentally prepared for that transition. Like in my head, I'm like, okay, cool, I have family. Like you can't go wrong with family. Well, yes you can, but you have family and I have support, and we can all basically save money if all of us living in the same house. Like it's dope as shit. So I'm like, okay, cool, bomb idea, let's all move in together, whatever. When we first moved in, it wasn't just us. We had more extended family stay, and it was for a long period of time, from like 6 to 8 weeks. So there were other people inside the house, and I didn't get a chance for myself personally to properly unwind, unpack, like settle down before we had new people come into the place. It was just a lot for me mentally. I didn't have healthy boundaries at all. I just felt like I was taking so much information in from others, and I wasn't necessarily letting any of that go. And then I just felt like I needed to help everybody else and find solutions for everyone else's problems, but in reality, no one asked me to do anything. Like nobody said, hey Tasha, can you help me figure this out? Hey Tasha, I'm struggling with this. It was just like, oh, I'm tired of this, or I hate this, and I need help, and I just need this, or whatever. And I'm just sitting here trying to piece together all these ways that I can try to help other people. And it came to me trying to help other people while also trying to find myself. Prior to me having Sage, I've always been working. I think I was 2 or 3 months pregnant is when I stopped working, and I was just at home. So that was like a new thing for me. And then I kind of wanted to get back in the groove of trying to figure out what my purpose is and trying to figure out what I like and trying to do things, but I didn't know where to begin because I feel like I had so much on my plate. I wasn't necessarily taking care of myself. I just basically had no routine. And it came to the point where, being that I didn't have a routine, being that I didn't have boundaries, being that I had myself just available for everybody else and available for everyone's emotions, I just, like I said, needed somebody to talk to. And it became days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months of, and I don't want to call it depression, because like I don't know what it could have been. Like I was legit like going through it. It was to the point where my thoughts were completely draining. Just get to the point, Tasha. I decided to go to therapy because I needed somebody to talk to, because I did not know how to properly unravel my thoughts. I didn't know how to manage my situation. I didn't know how to become productive. I didn't know how to balance my life out. I didn't know how to create structure. I didn't know where to begin as far as reclaiming my power. The first thing I needed to do was to talk to somebody because I needed to get all these thoughts out, and I just didn't know where to start. I wanted to do things regarding to like my business and try to do other things, but I couldn't even think or even process starting anything or promoting myself or wanting to do anything because my mind was so consumed with other shit, unnecessary shit. Having a therapist, it's like the purpose is for them to dig deeper and have you like unpack all your childhood traumas or try to figure out exactly why you are the way that you are. And it's basically your brain or your thoughts would be like a whole ball of yarn, like a tangled ass ball of yarn, and then you're talking to the therapist and they're just basically just dissecting and untangling it and just like putting it where they need to be. There was a time where every single day I was at home, I would look at Sage, I see my son, and every single time I would see him, my brain would go to my mother-in-law. This is not about her. It's more about me, and I'm not, like I said, I'm taking accountability for why I went to therapy and why I felt like I needed it. My mother-in-law has seen her grandson 3 times in his entire life. I was completely bothered. I was triggered. I was bothered. I was like frustrated. I was angry. It's like so much emotions was going through my head. Like I couldn't even focus on doing anything because there were so many times in the day where I would look at my son and all I can see or all my brain would think about is, why isn't this woman trying? It just bothers me to know that your blood or somebody that you so-called claim that you love isn't even making an effort to try and see them, right? So knowing that I'm at home and I have so many people come in, like my mom, everybody flying in to see Sage, and then to know that you live 20 minutes away and you have yet to come and see him, that bothered me. Went through the motions and I started writing and I doing a whole bunch of thought processing. Then I realized, right? Then I realized how unproductive I was. When you're sitting around and you're stagnant and you're not really doing anything, you're not really progressive, and you don't feel like you're making a difference, I feel like that's when you can get depressed, or that's when you can get like stuck in your own mind because you're not doing anything productive. I would be in the bed and I would get up whenever Sage woke up. So if Sage didn't wake up until 11 o'clock, I wasn't getting out of the bed until 11 o'clock. And I had too much time. And that's when you start thinking about all kind of unnecessary shit. Once I understood it fully and realized that everything people do is because of them and not necessarily have anything to do with you, then it's like, that's when you can release, and that's when you can breathe, and that's when you can take that weight off your chest and forgive people for the way that they are, because it's not, it don't take anything personally. And everything that you speak life into that, and your thoughts really become things. And the more I focused on her not being there for him, or the more that my negative energy was focused on her, I wasn't being productive with myself, and I wasn't pushing myself further, and I was like losing focus. There was a time when I was about, I think like 17 years old, but I remember during the time when I didn't really have a great relationship with my dad, and I didn't really know my sisters, and I went into the phone book just to find like their phone number, and I just wanted to like call them and be like, I'm your sister. This was like my first time actually reaching out to like figure out who my family was, because like growing up, my mom never really talked about them. I found their phone number in a phone book and I called, and I think one of my sisters had answered the phone, and I was like, hi, can I speak to such and such, whatever. And when they asked me who it was, and I was like, Tasha. So I think my sister told her mom that I was on the phone. So I didn't even get a chance to talk to my sister. Her mom came on the phone, and the only thing that I can remember is her telling me, she basically said, don't call my phone, don't call his house again. They don't know you and they're never gonna know you. And then she hung the phone up. It kind of like ripped my heart. Like it just ripped my heart open, because it's like, here I am, a young ass child trying to feel wanted and try to figure out like where I belong in the world, because even growing up, I always felt like I was different from my family members. Like I just wanted to find like that other side of me to try to like put the pieces together. Just knowing that his grandma wasn't making an effort to see her grandson made me feel as if it was like me again, as if like I didn't feel wanted, or because I know how it felt and I wanted to do my best job to, I guess, like protect Sage from feeling that same way. So that's how like that situation got tied in together, and it was just like a waking moment. But I cried that one day with a therapist, and after that I was like, yeah, we got to do better. And the great thing about the therapist, like, they don't give you the answers. Like, they let you sit there and figure it out. It's like, what do you want? Like, why are you crying? Like I said, once I was productive and once I began to like create a routine for myself, that's when all the thoughts that I had just like completely dissipated. It's so important to practice gratitude and be grateful for the things that you do have and not necessarily what you're lacking. And I feel like that was like one of my biggest things. It's like, wake up every single morning and practice gratitude. One of my biggest struggles was being productive and learning how to let go. Learning how to let go was one of my biggest struggles, and I'm definitely in the process of learning, growing, transforming, and I'm so excited about the future. I was telling my husband the other day, it's like, I feel like, you know, when you're at the beach, like kind of like when you see a goal, like a lot of time when you see the goal, you don't really know how you're gonna get there, but when you take the steps, it's kind of like once you start making a step, then everything just like opens up for you. And I feel like I just pulled up to the beach, right? I pulled up to the beach and I can see the water. Like, I can envision what that water feels like. I know the water about to feel good. I pulled up the beach and I'm out the car, and I am on my way to put my foot in the sand, to take off my clothes, and to dive right into that damn water. And I am taking you guys, like I said, on this journey, and I'm really excited about like where I was just like 2 months ago to where I'm going right now. And I just hope that you guys can follow the journey as well as take initiative to start your own journey, because I know that our biggest purpose in the world is to serve others, and we should not be sitting here with the mentality of everything happens to us. Like, instead of playing victim, like, what are you doing to take control of your surroundings, take control of your situations, and turning all your obstacles into triumphs? It's just a big awakening for me once I realize my power, and once I realize that your thoughts really like control so much of everything. Like, your mind is everything, and once you can control your thoughts, everything, all the possibilities can open. That's what I said, energy grows where energy goes. And I was not putting my energy in nothing that dealt with me failing, nothing that dealt with lack of support, nothing that dealt with lack of motivation. Like, if it wasn't uplifting me, and if it wasn't anything that's not like dealing with positive transformation or being better and trying to serve others, like, I don't want to hear about it. So I'm learning to have healthy boundaries. I'm learning to not take on way more than I should, and I'm just focused on my family. That's period. Like, basically, if you're not helping me to progress, like, I just basically just cut you off unapologetically. Like I said, just comment below, let me know if you've ever been to therapy or what you think about therapy, as well as like some things that you've been struggling with, something that you want to talk about. Like, I want to make a conversation. I want to be able to talk to you guys so we can be more transparent, because I want to create a community of women, even men included, just to be able to like express ourselves and to let you guys know that we are not alone. Like, a lot of times we go through similar situations and we don't know that we're going through those situations if we don't talk about it. It feels so much better when you talk about it, but then you move on. It's like, okay, it's okay to talk about something, but then what you do after that, that's where the transformation begins, and that's where change happens. So it's like, if you sit there and you're in a circle and you're complaining, but if you're not doing anything about it, then that's your ass. And I'm done complaining, I'm done being overwhelmed, and therapy was one of the best decisions that I've ever made, and I'm glad that I did it. And now the future is bright, so stay tuned for my journey, and I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.